Some enemies are very hard to deal with, even on the best of tanks, and that's when tank destroyers come and save the day. Vehicles of this type often possess overwhelming firepower, but this kind of combat prowess isn't free. Many SPGs lack an armored turret, and some of them go even further, shedding everything that's not a chassis or a gun. Does it move? Check. Does it make things explode? Check. What else do you need then? Today we're going to speak about the most iconic vehicles of this class, about monsters clad in heavy armor, about beasts that command unbelievable firepower, or in short, about tank destroyers that go really hard. Let's kick it off with one tiny German vehicle called Ferdinand. Built on the chassis of one of the Tiger prototypes, it excels both in defense and the offense. 200mm of armor covering its front will stop most APHE shells coming your way on mid to long ranges, while the powerful cannon that the Ferdinand is equipped with is capable of piercing even the thickest of armors. Yes, this is a turretless SPG, and a rather slow one to boot. But thanks to a petrol-electric transmission, you go almost as fast in reverse as when moving forward, which is simply amazing. If you're using the Ferdinand, your main problem is enemies with access to post-war heat rounds. Your armor wasn't designed with them in mind. Pick your fights wisely. Then we have the Italian Breda 501, a classic truck-based design. Its long-barreled 90mm cannon with its punchy APC-BC rounds can wreck even the heaviest of tanks. Furthermore, it has a 6-second reload, which means that your opponents would have almost no room for error. On the other hand, if you plan to survive, the Breda 501 has to rely heavily on its mobility, given that it has next to no armor. Being a truck with a gun, it also struggles with traversing difficult terrain, so stick to pathways that you can use. The next vehicle on our list hails from the Soviet Union. The Object 268 was built on the base of the T-10 heavy tank, allowing it to tank most shots coming its way up front. A powerful engine and a good transmission give it a really decent max speed of 50 kph. It's quite amazing, frankly, given how heavy this armored vehicle really is. The Object 268 also comes with lots of firepower, with around 1 kilo of explosive matter in each of its APH-EBC rounds, and a powerful 152mm cannon to deliver them to your enemies. At the same time, this tank destroyer has its share of weaknesses. Modern heat projectiles will have no difficulty penetrating its defenses, and its gun takes ages to reload. Well, with great power comes great patience, we guess. Then there is this Japanese beast, the Hori production. With its thick hull armor, excellent mobility, and a quick-firing 105mm gun, it commands respect wherever it goes. In the hands of an experienced tanker, and when fighting targets with guns of World War II era, the Hori production can be nigh invincible at mid to long ranges. Furthermore, thanks to a nice gun depression of -10 degrees, it's not that hard to find a spot that allows you to use your armor to its full potential. Stay clear of close combat. If an enemy manages to get you in a weak spot even once, it might be an immediate game over for you. The American M8A1, built on the chassis of the Stuart Light tank, inherited all the strengths of that class. It comes with a max speed of more than 50 kph and good overall mobility, but it is also equipped with a 75mm M3 cannon. That's a lot of firepower for such a small design. Remember early Shermans? They carry the very same gun. At the same time, all the flaws of its light tank chassis are also there. We're talking thin armor and an open-top turret, exposing both your crew and your ammo rack. Nevertheless, The M8A1 is incredibly powerful when attacking from the flank. If you manage to get the jump on the enemy, most targets won't stand a chance. In many ways, the Sav 2012-48, a Swedish premium TD, is very similar to designs we already discussed. It has good mobility, is rather squishy. So why do we single it out? Well, it's all because of its gun. What can we say? It's simply great. A 120mm cannon with an auto-loading mechanism. For the first 6 rounds, it takes it just a bit more than 1 second to reload. On the other hand, this TD has very weak armor, as we've already mentioned, so you won't be tanking many hits, if any. Furthermore, its optics and slightly unusual ballistics take some getting used to. A few other names come to mind. These few aren't exactly top tier, but are solid choices and good fighters overall. Take the French Fork, for example. It comes with thick frontal armor, a punchy 120mm cannon, and a 1,000 horsepower Maybach engine that allows it to reach the speed of almost 50 kph. Its machine gun cupola and the rangefinder are obvious weak spots. But that's hardly a problem if you're clubbing your targets from one side of the map. Another vehicle worth mentioning is the T-114, an American premium TD. It's armed with a 106mm recoilless gun, and you're able to fire the first 3 rounds in a very quick succession. It literally takes it only a couple of seconds to reload, and its heat rounds can pen any enemy right from the front. The last vehicle we're going to discuss today is the amazing Panzer 470V, designed specifically to wreck enemy armor. 80mm of sloped armor in the front provides good protection against almost anything light and medium tanks can hit you with. And this tank destroyer is armed with a powerful, quick-firing gun that can take almost any opponent out in a single hit. Furthermore, thanks to the vehicle's relatively small size, this tank destroyer can be really hard to spot, especially from afar. All in all, this is a perfect vehicle for sniping. If you find yourself in a good spot, many of your opponents will have to go back to the hangar one after the other. As a general rule, tank destroyers aren't as versatile as tanks, but they are really good at what they do. For example, the aforementioned Panzer IV is a great sniper, while the Hori and the Ferdinand are great at crumbling enemy flanks. Still don't consider them worthy opponents? Well, you're in for a surprise, mate, sooner or later. What are your favorite tank destroyers? Tell us in the comments below.